Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar. My name is Daniel Roussos. I'm the Senior Director of Solutions Consulting at Virtana. And with me today is my co-host, Mark Samuelson, who's a Senior Sales Engineer. Between us, we have a combined 23 years of experience in the infrastructure monitoring and observability space. We serve some of the largest enterprises in the Global 2000. We're eager to give you an overview of our Global View AIOps capabilities in the Virtana platform. Before we get started, I wanted to walk through some housekeeping items. First of all, this is being recorded, and because of that, your microphones have been muted. But please don't let that stop you from asking any questions. You could submit your questions using the Q&A button in the webinar platform. We'll do our best to answer those by the end of the webinar. The other great thing about this being recorded is that you will also get an email with a link to the recording. And finally, we'd love to hear from you and your thoughts about the webinar. We'll provide contact information so you can follow up to ask questions or let us know what you think. We're going to do an in-depth review of the Global View capabilities, but before we start that demonstration, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about who we are and what we do. Simply put, we are the deepest hybrid infrastructure platform available in the market today. And by deepest, I mean that we collect the most data from the most sources at the highest granularity and frequency. Foremost, we are an observability platform, meaning that we can observe hybrid infrastructure domains from multiple leading vendors to provide deep understanding of the health, performance, and behavior of applications, services, and infrastructure. We are powered by AI, and with AI and machine learning capabilities embedded throughout our platform. Now, we all know that a resilient business is a successful business. And this quote from Jim Boehm at McKinsey illustrates what we here at Virtana understand to be the drivers for resiliency in enterprises like yours. It's not just about infrastructure resiliency, and that's important, but the business impact of processes, technology, and risk tolerance must also be considered. We are always talking with customers to understand their challenges. Here's what we've learned from them. Downtime and performance issues are always top of mind, as these issues can lead to loss of revenue and reputation. As important, and more important in some cases, is keeping operational costs and efficiency optimized. Many organizations lack visibility into how much they are spending on cloud. They are concerned about whether they can keep the lights on with reduced staff and budget, and they want to know how much they need to spend to meet business growth and not overspend. The introduction of new technologies like AI that can positively impact their business brings new challenges. If you don't have the time or resources to leverage them, you may fall behind from competitors and your business will suffer. We see the impact these challenges have on IT every day. Lack of optimization means workloads are imbalanced, introducing risk of issues. Spend much of your time dealing with issues in your infrastructure. Your environments are fragile. Throwing more money and resources at issues can be a natural way of addressing this fragility, but it means waste and inability to plan adequately. There's no time to innovate, technology stagnates, and opportunities are missed. Finally, there is the ever-present risk of cyber threat exposure that is compounded by these factors. If you can't manage your infrastructure when risk is low, it's much worse when it's high. The situation is more challenging right now due to these reasons. Your infrastructure is likely growing at scale due to acquisitions and the need to adopt new technology like AI and machine learning, but your teams are siloed and only see their infrastructure domain. And you're probably constantly challenged by needing to do the same amount of work with the same or less budget and the same or less resources. In addition, you may be struggling with adoption of new technology, such as containers and AI, and the need to learn new tools and element managers to manage everything, even with the overhead of resource constraint and learning capacity from your teams. So all these challenges leave far too little time for innovation and modernization. So the biggest challenge is the impact that these have on your business and the resulting risk or loss of revenue due to downtime. If you look to somebody like Gartner, the average is about $300,000 per hour. Of course, the amounts vary depending on your industry. Now, if you're using something like public cloud, IDC reports that 30% of all cloud spend is wasted due to inefficiencies, either over or under allocation of resources. Cloud service providers are not necessarily incented to provide visibility into your cloud bill, and a lack of governance means wasted spend. So perhaps your IT departments are struggling with manual and repetitive tasks. McKinsey reports that 20% of all IT departments spend time on low value repetitive tasks. And that wasted time means a lot less value for important tasks. You can't innovate because of the struggle with managing existing infrastructure. And as Gartner points out, 33% result in lower profit. So a lack of innovation truly does hurt the bottom line. And on top of all of that, cybersecurity threats, which are an ever-present concern, the Ponemon Institute has found that 67% of security incidents go undetected, and oftentimes for more than 200 days. So if you are challenged by processes and technology, your cybersecurity and exposure may be not getting the attention that it needs. All of this leads us to how we might be able to help you with our Virtana hybrid observability platform. It's powered by AI and built through collaboration with our customers and leading technology partners like Dell, Hitachi, Cisco, and other major providers. Our mission is clear: to work through the issues that your infrastructure has and provide you back the precious time to focus on innovation and projects which you are passionate about or that drive your bottom line. The Virtana platform allows you to gain valuable insights that help you manage and ensure performance and optimize cost and streamline administration across hybrid and multi-cloud environments. So we're going to talk about how we do this. We collect telemetry, metrics, logs, traces, flows, and configuration data from a wide range and variety of sources, including on-premise systems, cloud, and even down to optical wire data from SAN Fabric, which provides the deepest and highest fidelity, granularity, and frequency of data available anywhere in the industry. This data is used to power a set of specific capabilities. For example, an automated discovery and dependency mapping, which gives you a dynamic, up-to-date view of your entire infrastructure and the data flow dependencies. Our patented AI behavior modeling and dynamic service level objective alarms, which help you identify problems in your environment before they impact critical applications. We use Gen AI causal analysis to quickly pinpoint root case and significantly improve your mean time to resolution. Furthermore, automation and orchestration capabilities let you automate remediation, and it frees up time to focus on more critical tasks. Another significant advantage of our platform is continuous cost and capacity optimization, which gives you clear understanding of how your infrastructure is utilized, pressure points, and where you can reduce waste to save money. We know that security is also a significant concern for many of you, so we offer a flexible deployment model, and our platform can be deployed either on-premise, in a colo facility, or in the cloud. The result is improved outcomes for your business: resilience, optimization, better performance, accelerated innovation, ability to focus more on security. I'd just like to briefly touch on the key components of Virtana platform. At the forefront is what we call the Global View AI Ops component, and that sits on top of all the other data sources and elements. Data is streamed to the Global View from our observability solution or third-party monitoring solutions, and that covers containerization and infrastructure as well. It's comprised of a set of ready-to-use dashboards, which can be used for alert management, resource optimization, and capacity planning. And it's where all of your alert responses come together across your infrastructure domains, providing a policy-driven response for self-healing, and it's all integrated with your existing IT service management systems. Now, infrastructure observability is our observability solution for on-premise, colo, and cloud storage traditional infrastructure. This collects configuration, metric, topology, incident, change, service map, and ecosystem data via an agentless deployment, and the integrations allow data to stream from leading infrastructure vendors, including storage and stored networks, compute, data fabric, IP network, hyperconverged, APM products, CMDB, and ITSM platforms. We use this data to automate discovery and dependency mapping to provide a unified end-to-end view and visibility across infrastructure components from application to LUN. As with other parts of our platform, we use AI to drive analysis to give you continuous optimization of performance, capacity, and cost. And alarm and event management is integrated with collaboration tools like Slack and ITSM platforms like ServiceNow. Our alert, capacity, and cost data is also streamed to global view, so you can manage these functions across a hybrid infrastructure. We have a rich set of out-of-the-box reports and dashboards, which we built using expertise we've accumulated from hundreds of customers over the 15 plus years, and it provides a simplified view and management of your complex, heterogeneous, hybrid infrastructure. These are useful to you immediately without the need for extensive configuration or training. Naturally, managing cloud-native application infrastructure brings a new set of challenges. Virtana helps with this challenge through a container observability solution, which is built into the cloud. Traditional approaches to cloud-native infrastructure monitoring tend to be expensive, and it makes it very difficult to extend observability to a lot of the areas that might require it, and that leads to some increased risk because of lack of observability. We use open source telemetry and configuration, which lets tools you like, and the best things about the platform is that we can accelerate your adoption of open source tools by providing a single uniform view to manage their use. We provide automated discovery and dependency mapping to provide a unified view of your environment. Like other parts of our platform, AI and machine learning is baked in to discover norms and surface problems when normal behavior is disrupted. Our automated causal analysis links unexpected behavioral changes to the app and ties them to service level objective breaches. And alerts are streamed to global view for unified management across both cloud native and traditional infrastructure. So let's move on to why we're here. We're going to share some exciting global view AI apps capabilities. I'm going to turn it over to my counterpart, Mark Samuelson, who's going to provide you an in-depth view of global view, a demonstration of the various container and observability and infrastructure observability components.
Thanks, Daniel, for that introduction and overview to the platform. Today, as he said, we're going to go over our global view component of that. What really ties together all of our different products. As you can see along the top, you see container observability, infrastructure observability, cloud cost management. Those are brought into that overall umbrella of global view. So that's basically your navigation. And over to the left, while you're in global view, I can look at several different dashboards. I have an alert screen. I have a report system that shows me what kind of automation is going through and what kind of new customized governance I can put into the platform. And then how does this, solution what we're going to really talk about is how this solution helps you solve your performance availability products. How does it help you with operational costs and efficiencies in AI and new technologies? So first off, what we're doing is being able to show you from this global view, which ties together all of the different aspects of on-prem. So you could have multiple locations reporting into this from maybe a global perspective. Maybe you have 9 data centers with 9 collectors around. We can funnel that data into global view, give you a consistent overview of all of your compute resources as you're seeing here, and apply costs to those resources. So it enables you to be able to, assign what we call a cost card and customize that data so that you can get the proper, what it really costs your infrastructure. So you're seeing real numbers, not just made up numbers. And then being able to drill in and be able to see, well, what am I looking at from a host, from a cluster perspective, how many, what core count and cost per core. So that capability built into the platform, allowing you to see what those costs are per machine, per instance in the environment. Then from a capacity standpoint, we have the ability to bring in all of what you're looking at from a capacity standpoint globally, and then being able to also tie together those cost cards so that you can calculate and see what your on-premise cost is going to be for leveraging a certain tier of storage. And you can see over to the right where I'm seeing every single one of my storage array entities and being able to get a good view on where that is, being able to see who's overutilized, who's underutilized, be able to have the ability to drill in and see data by, location and vendor. Also having the ability to email reports. So these reports can be emailed out and sent to your constituencies, and they can be customized. And you can have separate different reports with different customizations that allow you to, schedule them differently, have different groups, and be able to use that data that way. So every single one of these dashboards and reports will allow you to see that. So, what have we done so far? We've been able to see a top level of all of my compute, see what am I costing per VM, per cluster. I'm be able to see what I'm costing per terabyte, gigabyte against all of my different tiers of storage so that I can pick the right destination, right performance tier for the right cost. Then after that, I'm going to need to understand how, where critical issues are popping up in my environment. Am I having, certain data centers getting hit with a lot of specific issues that may be different between data centers or specific applications. So we could see our alerts trend. We can also see applications by alert severity. We can also see, well, is there a particular instance, maybe data center that's having, in this case, we're having this particular system collecting a lot more alerts right now than were maybe typical. And then customizing, also bringing in our containerized environments and the unique ability to bring in third-party sources of alerts. So maybe you have hardware out there that's being monitored with infrastructure observability or container observability that's not captured through our platform. You can also bring those alarms in here and associate those events. Like, for example, maybe you want to send your storage array alarms in here so that you can correlate them, create correlation rules to response time issues that maybe an application is having. So some really nice features there, being able to see a global set on there, and then being able to drill in and take a look at all of the alerts going on and see what is happening from an infrastructure observability capability and see what's going on. You could also leverage, be able to get some high level information on an alarm, be able to see from a co-pilot standpoint, what are the recommendations when I'm running out of memory utilization, and just be understanding that none of your on-prem data goes to the cloud when it goes to the AI bot system. That really is just a particular metric. And you can see some of the response that we got from the OpenAI platform. And then what our system does is we take these responses and then we apply those responses and create charts and graphs to help you triage that issue based on the response from the OpenAI platform for the particular entity that's currently alarming. So you can see here, ESX7 was having a memory utilization issue. And so these are the items that is being recommended by the OpenAI platform. We can also, check, and you can thumbs up and thumbs down some of the AI recommendations. So if it was not helpful, then in the future that particular recommendation will not be assigned. Now, what else can happen here is maybe you really are out of memory, but you know what? This is something that's been happening over time. You can see some of the alert history. This one hasn't been, but there are times when, right, this continuously happens. What we can do is execute some automation capabilities by leveraging our StackStorm type of orchestrator. And so maybe you want to resize, right? Create a workflow to resize that VM by adding more CPU to it. And this workflow can have many, it has the ability to provide input data for it. This can also be something where you set up an automated situation where you don't even need to hit the execute button, where it can be integrated, where there is some alarm intelligence that we can add, say, hey, the next time this type of alarm happens, I want to automatically kick off this automation routine here. And that can be all configured within our governance and alert intelligence system. So this is where we can add new rules and create more intelligent ways of alarming so that you can incorporate some of those automation actions in there, or maybe you just want a different type of response to it. So you can see many different types of policies that you can customize. It's really pretty much endless with that. So that's the alerts dashboard. We also have a really nice cluster overview dashboard. This really brings in, when you get a complicated container environment across many different clusters, many different environments, you can see a roll up of, what's going on from all of my applications that are out there, and what are my deployments currently running. And I can see a particular environment. I can drill in and see what's going on with these particular applications. And with that, I can also see my memory, by disk utilization, memory utilization, so I can get a really quick view of where I'm at from a resource standpoint. And then, being able to drill in and see what's going on from that alarms that I have coming in. This is my specific, deployment system with I guess it looks like an Hitachi environment. I can drill in. I have my AI system that provides a fishbone analysis and looks at, right? He looks at, okay, is there any scaling issues going on? And it will basically highlight the ones that it finds, or pod schedule failures, node failures, startup issues. And here we just basically have, the only thing it found was a scaling issue, right? So essentially we need to update what our scaling is set to. And that's, once again, that could be something that you created in automation routine to be able to solve. And then, we're coming around to kind of close the loop on AI. We also have our new Copilot, which allows us to ask specific questions of the system. It can ask you for help and support of documentation. It can also do some queries into Virtana and see what type of alarms are happening right now. So, and in essence, I can type in just to help, what can I do? And it'll give you some various feedback to help you figure out, well, what are the capabilities, since we do update these all the time. Here's a good one. Hey, I want to see all my critical cases in the last 5 days. So I can go ahead and pop that into the system, and it will give me a list of all my critical cases that I've had, provide some graphing information, show my applications, and be able to get that information for me. And here you go. So we have, here's how many alarms per day I've been experiencing. And that was the answer to the basic answer to my question that I had. So you can interact with this thing. So if you maybe don't have a report or something, you could just simply ask the Copilot bot questions from that. And then being able to manage my automated executed actions. We have a dashboard on here to kind of show you what's been succeeding and failing. And, you can look at 24 hours, you can look at past 8 hours, you can see what exactly has been going on and be able to drill into those systems. So you can kind of see some of the incidents been created and running, and you can see some of the output that's been provided from that particular automation routine. And that pretty much sums up our overview for Global View today. I think we're going to open it up now to some questions. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mark. So I'd like to open it up for anybody that may have questions. You can post those into the chat, and Mark and I will be available to answer those now. We currently don't have any open questions, but if you don't mind, post them into the chat. I know we covered a good bit of positioning as well as technical content, so feel free to post any questions that you may have.
Yeah,
Looks like we
Daniel, we
may
got a
have
question here. Somebody's interested in infrastructure. Obviously, yes, we are, our infrastructure observability can absolutely help you in your observability and diagnostics and capacity for your infrastructure. Always be willing to follow up with you for a demo if you'd like and get a little bit deeper into that area.
Perfect. Mark, there was a question on whether this is a SaaS platform, and it alludes to some of the deployment mechanisms. Do you want to touch on whether this is SaaS only or if there are other deployment alternatives?
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Daniel. Yeah, so this is a SaaS deployment. It can run as a SaaS in the cloud. It can also run on-prem within a container environment. So you do have that flexibility. And follow-on question was, asking about mainly storage performance cost optimization. Absolutely, we can help with that. That's really where we started with our product. So being able to deep dive into storage performance and mainly see what's happening outside the array to be able to tie together issues that may be happening in the infrastructure or congestion issues or host issues that may be experiencing a delay. Being able to do cost optimization for you, absolutely looking at your storage assets, seeing how well utilized they are, be able to identify configuration issues, be able to see assets that may be orphaned that may have been deployed. So absolutely, we can help in all those areas. Great question. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mark. It does look like there's a couple of other questions. There is a question related to the use of Splunk and our relationship to Splunk from a data ingest perspective. Would you like to touch on that as well?
Sure. I mean, mainly we can bring in third-party alarms. from a log aggregation, I would say, Daniel, I've not done much with that. How about you?
Yeah, I've done the third-party alarm configuration, so we can ingest data from Splunk. There is also an open API in Virtana for exporting data in various formats, which could be used for third-party ingest as well. But primarily, we use it for ingesting alerts and events so that we can do cross-domain correlation. So Splunk would be supported in that scenario as well. One more question that is currently outstanding is related to the need for agents in our platform or whether it is an agentless solution. Mark, do you probably see this question a little bit more often? Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I'm sure. On the infrastructure side, we're completely agentless. So we're using already known APIs provided by the various vendors. And, you know, on top of that, I also see a question in the chat. We have cross-vendor capability, right? So being able to see that, being able to show, I see we got a question. Do we have cross-vendor costing and reporting and observability? And the answer is absolutely, we do. And then a follow-on question was I'm interested to get a demo. Absolutely, we can set that up. Please, as long as you left your email and as your registration, I'm sure Heather, our person running this, will be able to get a demo. And even, yes, we do POCs on-prem, no problem all the time. So be glad to do that and have a conversation with you. But no, good question so far. I appreciate the feedback in the chat, team. And so, yes, and any follow-ups, if you're looking for more information, please hit our website. We can obviously follow up with you if you put something in the chat or you can even request a demo from our website. So, and that would initiate your local team to get in touch with you and have a conversation about some of your further questions.
Yeah, and I'll mention that both Mark and I are on LinkedIn. So if you have a offhanded question that we didn't cover today or any topic, you can reach out to us on LinkedIn. There is also a Virtana email, info@virtana.com. And if you have questions that are more general in nature, you're certainly welcome to take that avenue as well. So we had 4 questions, which were very well worded. Thank you so much for that. We have completed the webinar. We'll stay on a moment in case there are any follow-on questions. But otherwise, we will wrap here in a moment. And we appreciate everybody's time. We hope you have a great holiday. Thank you so much.